Netflix's Yu Yu Hakusho live-action adaptation is undoubtedly good. The CGI, the fight scenes, ugh, this series is fantastic. And even though this adaptation lacks some elements of humor, the bloopers and funny moments are hilarious, like Kuwabara's nuts getting destroyed by Keiko. Yeah, I know, that hurts. So without further ado, let's kick off this rollicking list of Yu Yu Hakusho best behind-the-scenes and on-set bloopers. The rivalry. See, Urameshi is having a bad day because his teacher mistakenly judged him as the one who bullied his schoolmates. Then, when he got home, his mother, Atsuko, started nagging about him being so stubborn. So Urameshi decided to take a walk. Then Kuwabara and his gang suddenly appeared and confidently told Urameshi that he just got lucky yesterday. He wanted a rematch, and this time, Kuwabara also said that Urameshi couldn't do any damage to him. But the opposite happens. Urameshi ruthlessly kicks and punches Kuwabara and his gang, then vanishes in thin air. I find it pretty funny because this shows us the true-to-manga personality of our beloved Kuwabara, who loves to beat his rival Urameshi in a fight, but he simply can't do it. Urameshi wants to fight Koenma. We all know that Urameshi's personality is like slime covered with metal. He does not want to take orders from anyone else. He always does what he wants to do, caring little about what other people say. He gambles, he drinks, he causes so much chaos, and he loves fights where he can express himself completely. So when Koenma tried to order Urameshi to give him respect, Urameshi wanted to fight Koenma. That's funny as hell because he is the same Urameshi even if he was already dead. Zero win Kuwabara. Even though Kuwabara saw Urameshi as his rival, he really respected him. That's why at Urameshi's wake, Kuwabara simply grieves by yelling that it's unfair Urameshi died before he won a single fight with him. This is sad, yes, but it's also funny. Why? Well, because he literally grieves like how Kuwabara in Yu Yu Hakusho's manga should grieve, as both a child and a man who lost his respected friend. Koenma teaching Urameshi. Okay, the first thing we can notice about Urameshi's personality is he's not a listener, impatient, and hates when someone gives him an order. He always thinks he knows better than anyone else. So when Koenma tries to teach him how to use his spirit energy to defeat the roundworm possessing Kurino's body, the outcome is terribly funny. Koenma told Urameshi the steps on how to unleash the spirit energy, but while Koenma is telling the steps to Urameshi, our MC yelled at him and said to go straight to the point and tell him exactly what he needs to do. The Crazy Mixed Duo. After witnessing how Urameshi won the fight against the possessed Kurino, Kuwabara couldn't help himself and asked his rival how he defeated such a strong enemy. Urameshi replied by saying that he fights the yokai and uses his spirit energy to defeat it. Kuwabara laughed and told Urameshi he was hallucinating and imagining things, adding that Urameshi needed some help. Urameshi felt insulted and wanted to fight Kuwabara, but Botan forced him to leave. Then Kuwabara's friends thought he too needed some help because he said he saw a girl in a kimono. Well, Kuwabara's friends think he is crazy because they can't see Botan. Botan is a Grim Reaper, so only Kuwabara, being one of the main characters, can see her. Planning for a training. After seeing the strength gap between Urameshi and Hiei, Koenma decided to train his new spirit detective. But while Botan was telling Urameshi that he would undergo training with Master Genkai, Urameshi interrupted her by saying he could defeat Hiei without Genkai's help. All he needed to do was find a weakness and Hiei's speed. And here's the funny moment. While the two were arguing, Kuwabara appeared from nowhere and yelled that he and Urameshi should go to the training. So, in so much shock, Botan and Urameshi's reaction was, to be his rival. I find this extremely funny because Kuwabara is as honest as always. When Master Genkai asked him why he wanted to train, he replied that he wanted to be at Urameshi's level of strength so they could be rivals. But Urameshi, being the arrogant person he is, told Kuwabara that there is no way he could compete with him. The two started to say some mean words to each other like children. Master Genkai started to get irritated, so she yelled, and the force of her voice pushed Kuwabara and Urameshi. This is funny enough for fans out there because we can see the bond between these two. Hiei versus Kuwabara. Urameshi finds Hiei and fights him, thinking that he's the one who kidnapped Keiko. But Kurama stopped their fight and told Urameshi that older Toguro was the one who took Keiko, not Hiei. So the two get clarity, and they start their plan to rescue Keiko and Yukina, Hiei's sister. But while they are on their way, Kuwabara stopped them, and when Hiei saw him, he told Kuwabara that he was weak, and if he doesn't want to die, he should not make the mistake of joining them. Kuwabara replied by saying, "That how you create a first impression?" Well, that is funny. I really love the sweet little chaos between Kuwabara and Hiei. They have a lot of funny moments together, but let's save that for later. Hair treatment joke. While Urameshi, Kurama, and Kuwabara are walking, Karasu suddenly appears, touches Kurama's hair, and asks if he's using a hair treatment. Well, this is a joke that we need in the middle of an intense rescue, right? These nuts. Okay, out of all the funniest moments in this live-action adaptation, this is my favorite one. See, while Kurama is facing Karasu and Hiei is battling with Boy, Urameshi tells Kuwabara that they need to take a separate path in order to find Keiko and Yukina quickly. Meanwhile, Keiko and Yukina manage to escape from the cell. They're being very careful, so when they hear footsteps and see a shadow, Keiko prepares her hand for her deadly attack. But it turns out that the one who received her insidious attack is Kuwabara. Well, seeing someone getting punched in the nuts is both painful and funny. But for Kuwabara, the painful experience quickly turns into a wonderful experience when he sees Hiei's sister Yukina. Balls to heart quickly. This part is extremely funny because, amidst the danger they are facing, Kuwabara can't believe that Yukina is Hiei's sister. Kuwabara is more likely to be hit by a truck, just like Urameshi when he sees Yukina's beautiful face. He experiences a love-at-first-sight moment with her. Okay, we can't argue that these two are like peanut butter and jelly because, after crying endlessly, Kuwabara can make Yukina laugh and forget her traumatizing experience with bad people who tortured her. That makes sense, right? Well, the decision Kuwabara made for the next one on this list is probably the right choice. Wrong hole? If you are a huge fan of Yu Yu Hakusho, you know that Kuwabara has a strong ability to be right when choosing a door where they find what they are looking for. But a lot of his choices end up being tummy-achingly funny. Just take this scene for example. Keiko got a card that can open the roller doors. Kuwabara confidently points out a door, so Keiko opens it using the card. Kuwabara shouts, "Jackpot!" And yeah, he's right, because inside of it, there's a yokai, and now their lives are in great danger. So, they ran for their lives. The Nuts Revenge. Well, this is by far the funniest and most suitable revenge I've witnessed in an anime live-action adaptation. Remember when Keiko punched Kuwabara's balls? Well, Kuwabara had a chance to take his revenge by reasonably kicking her when the yokai was trying to bite her. So, Kuwabara kicked Keiko, and instead of checking on Keiko's condition, Kuwabara asked Yukina if she was hurt. The Spirit Sword. While fighting older Toguro, Kuwabara finally unleashed his spirit sword and chopped his enemy into pieces. When Keiko saw it, she quickly questioned Kuwabara on why he didn't use it earlier. Well, the funny thing here is, other than not being able to use it right away, for now, he may be reserving his big spirit sword for his love-at-first-sight Yukina. You know what I mean? The Whisper. After our gang's intense fight, while Kuwabara is talking with Yukina, Hiei approaches Kuwabara from the back and whispers something in his ear that causes Kuwabara to get angry with Hiei. This is funny enough for us to realize that Hiei, Kuwabara, Urameshi, Kurama, Keiko, and Yukina will be a perfect team. What Netflix did with this live-action adaptation is undoubtedly amazing. Though the storyline is kind of fast-paced, the CGI and fight scenes are jaw-dropping. So, what else can we wish for other than more episodes for Season 2, right?